last year, and we had a very good interaction, and that is about exploring the indigenous knowledge. Okay, so just let me share my presentation. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay. Okay, so actually I am going to talk about the art of teaching or art of effective teaching. But before going to this, who will teach? Only the teacher can teach. And if we know that India is already known as the world guru for many things, so I just want to recall or give you the glimpse what India is known about. So if India Bharat ki Manishi Parampara. So if Manishi Parampara, if we see, so India is a land of knowledge, like the Chanakya, Aryabhat, then Vivekananda, Buddha, so many, Guru Nanak Ji, and many sages were there in India in all the parts, which is starting from, say, Kanyakumari to Kashmir to Bangladesh to up to Afghanistan region, where the Indian continent was there. And every time and again we have seen that lot of sages or lot of leaders who have guided the mankind for their well-being. So I just summarize first 8 main philosophical and scientific heritage of India, like Arthashastra, economics, Sanskrit, then numeral system or Bij Ganit, and Geometry means geometry. Then Rasayana, chemical sciences, Ayurveda, biological sciences, Jyotir Tat, matlab Jyotir Vigyan or astronomy, then Prakriti Vidya, terrestrial or material sciences, and Nandana, like archaeological survey or architecture, Vastu Shastra. Now, if we see one by one, like Sanskrit. So, Sanskrit is the language of, nowadays it is, NASA scientists are also working on Sanskrit, and it is assumed and it is found that this is the language of the time where all the algorithms and details of computers and human mind can be coordinated with Sanskrit. And if we see the etymological history of Sanskrit with global words like Dutiya, Tritiya, Pancha, Saptam. So these are described in Sanskrit. But if you see duet, tri, pentet, septum, so these are the words in modern science. So like Dutiya means 2, Tritiya means 3, likewise. Or Dwar, Kendra, Padam. So door, central, podium, then Kal or Kalash. So like Celsa, Alicia, class. Then Osti. Osti means osteoarthritis or Jara. Then osteoarthritis or geriatrics. Sthiti, like statics. Dhanam. Dhanam means dynamics. Agni and Vayu. Igneous and bias. Matri, Pitri, Bhatri. So mother, father, brother. So if we see the similarity, so most of the words which are there, which are obtained from our traditional language, which is the conventional language of Sanskrit. Second one is Bij Ganit. So, like Albert Einstein has said, that if we owe a lot of Indians who taught us about how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. Now, if we see we are the original person, or India is the originator of zero. So they have given the very big digit to the artificial mathematics, or say mathematics world. Then Arthashastra. So if we know the Arthashastra, Chanakya is the person who has given Arthashastra, the concepts of Arthashastra or economics long back, maybe 2500 years back. Rasayana means chemical sciences. So chemical sciences also well developed, where the manufacturing processes are well known. And like if we see the biological sciences or Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is a term like Ayur and Veda. And if we split this particular word, so it is a way of life. So Ayurveda is a way of life by which we can adopt the environment, the medication, the yoga, the naturopathy, then other systems. And if you see the remarkable, amazing performance of Ayurveda. So recently, Ayush Ministry during the pandemic of Corona has suggested that one should take the Ayurvedic kada of say black pepper, then ginger, dalchini and others. So why? And they also suggested one should put oil on nasal root. So nasya is there. Then hot water, steaming. So all these are things which are already described in one way or the other way in Ayurveda already. Now, Jyotirvidya and Jyotirvidya or astronomy. So astronomy is again a well-known field of our Indian continent, whereby this Jantar Mantar or say our time is so calculated that every year we celebrate say the Makar Sankranti on 14th of January. So on the basis of Uttarayan and Dakshinayan, we just calculate our Indian calendar and on the basis of moon also. So this is well defined. Then Prakriti Vidya or environmental sciences, and finally the Vastu Shastra. So these are some of the glimpses of our traditional knowledge which are there. So I just want to include these knowledge and discuss the today's topic about the which is on the pedagogy or for the especially for the teachers and for the society. Okay, so if you see our Vedic knowledge or Vedic science, so it is like Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means which is heard, and Smriti means which is remembered. And out of Vedic Shruti, Vedic Gyan, it is again divided into Ved, Rigved, Yajurved, then Upved like Dhanurved, Ayurved, and then Vedanta. And again, various Samhitas and Upanishads are described. Whereas in Smriti, like Tantra, Puran, Itihas, and out of that, one part is Mahabharata, and out of Mahabharata, one part is small about Bhagavad Gita. So, if we see here, a lot of information was there in our traditional knowledge. So, I just want to this show you one video, and then we can start our session. Okay, just wait. Is it audible?
एक सिक्के की तरह मनुष्य के
Yes, sir.
पहलू तरह है। मनुष्य के भी दो पहलू होते हैं। पहला उच्चतर आध्यात्मिक नैतिक पहलू और दूसरा
Yes, sir.
पशु स्वभाव रखने वाला निम्नतर पहलू। पशु स्वभाव इंद्रियों की सुख, अस्तित्व के लिए निरंतर संघर्ष, वासना, लोभ, क्रोध आदि जैसे शारीरिक सुखों की ओर प्रवृत्त होता है। जब यह स्वभाव बढ़ने लगता है तो वह मनुष्य को जानवर से भी बदतर बना देता है और इस प्रकार से समाज के ताने बाने को नष्ट करने लगता है। दूसरी ओर उच्चतर आध्यात्मिक स्तर होता है जो मनुष्य की असली पहचान है और यही हमारा शुद्ध मूल स्वभाव है। सत्य के प्रति प्रेम, काम एवं लोभ पर नियंत्रण, तपस्या, सभी जीवों के प्रति दया व करुणा, क्षमा, भगवान पर अटूट विश्वास व भक्ति आदि गुण उच्चतर आध्यात्मिक एवं नैतिक स्वभाव की अभिव्यक्ति है। दुर्भाग्यवश आज हम जिस समाज में जी रहे हैं उसमें उच्चतर आध्यात्मिक प्रवृत्ति पर पशु प्रकृति हावी है। इसके कारण विश्व भर में शांति, समृद्धि और उन्नति की तलाश में मानव समाज नैतिक पतन, हिंसा, तनाव और संघर्ष जैसी विकट समस्याओं से जूझ रहा है। आज मनुष्य एक जानवर से भी अधिक भयानक और क्रूर होता जा रहा है, जिसका दिल दहला देने वाला सबूत आप इस क्लिप में देख सकते हैं। देखिए, एक कुत्ता क्या करता है जब वह दूसरे कुत्ते को दुर्घटनाग्रस्त देखता है। यहाँ देखिए किस तरह सड़क पार करते हुए एक कुत्ता बस से टकरा गया है और इतने ज्यादा ट्रैफिक में सड़क पर पड़ा है। इतने में एक दूसरा कुत्ता इसे देख लेता है और उसकी मदद करने पहुंच जाता है। इतने खतरनाक बिजी ट्रैफिक के होते हुए भी यह कुत्ता घायल कुत्ते को धीरे धीरे अपनी जान की परवाह किए बिना सड़क के किनारे ले जाता है। और वह कुत्ता आखिरकार बच जाता है। और अब देखिए इंसान क्या करता है जब वह एक दूसरे इंसान को दुर्घटनाग्रस्त देखता है। यह 2 साल की बच्ची एक ट्रक के पहले पहिए के नीचे आ जाती है, परंतु ड्राइवर गाड़ी से उतरकर उसे संभालने की बजाय उस पे दूसरा पहिया भी चढ़ा देता है। अपने आप को मनुष्य कहने वालों में से एक भी व्यक्ति इस बच्ची की मदद करने नहीं आता। और फिर दर्द से करहा रही बच्ची के पैरों के ऊपर से एक और ट्रक निकल जाता है। कुछ देर बाद एक औरत इस बच्ची को किसी कचरे की तरह सड़क के किनारे लगा देती है और वह बच्ची मृत घोषित कर दी जाती है। आखिर हम मनुष्यों ने अपनी दया भाव को कब खो दिया? क्या इसे ही हम समाज की प्रगति का नाम देंगे? क्या हम अपने आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए ऐसा समाज छोड़ के जा रहे हैं? क्या हमारा यह दायित्व नहीं बनता कि हम इस समाज का सुधार करें? पर आखिर कैसे? क्या इन बढ़ती समस्याओं को कभी रोका जा सकता है? जी हाँ, एक विख्यात ब्रिटिश इतिहासकार डॉक्टर आर्नोल्ड ट्वाइन भी कहते हैं, यह अब स्पष्ट होता जा रहा है कि यदि मानव समाज को स्वयं के सर्वनाश से बचाना है तो हर उस अध्याय जिसकी शुरुआत पाश्चात्य है उसका अंत भारतीय ही होना होगा। इतिहास की सबसे संकटपूर्ण घड़ी में यदि मानव की मुक्ति का कोई उपाय है तो वह मात्र भारतीय है। यहाँ भारतीय उपाय से डॉक्टर आर्नोल्ड टॉइनबी का अभिप्राय हमारे वेदों में दिए गए महान ज्ञान से है और विश्व भर में विख्यात महान ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भगवद गीता समस्त वेदों का सार है। किसी भी नए आविष्कार को प्रयोग करने की शैली उस वस्तु को बनाने वाला ही बता सकता है। इसीलिए जब भी आप कोई नया उपकरण खरीदते हैं तो उसके साथ आप एक मैनुअल प्राप्त करते हैं। उसी प्रकार इस सृष्टि को बनाने वाले ने भी मनुष्य को एक सुखी जीवन व्यतीत करने की शैली सिखाने के लिए मैनुअल दी है, जिसका नाम श्रीमद् भगवद गीता है, जिसे आप लाइफ मैनेजमेंट मैनुअल भी कह सकते हैं। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता के ज्ञान को संसार के सभी प्रमुख विचारकों एवं वैज्ञानिकों ने माना है। आइए देखते हैं इन विचारकों एवं वैज्ञानिकों में से कुछ का क्या कहना है। राल्फ वाल्डो इमर्सन, एक महान अमेरिकी लेखक, निबंधक एवं यूनिटेरियन मिनिस्टर कहते हैं, भगवद गीता ने मुझे मेरे जीवन का एक महान भव्य दिन दिया। वो ऐसा था मानो एक पूरा साम्राज्य हमसे बात कर रहा हो, कुछ भी छोटा या अयोग्य नहीं, पर विशाल, स्थिर एवं तर्कयुक्त, एक प्राचीन बुद्धिमत्ता की आवाज जो आज भी हमें उन प्रश्नों का उत्तर देती है जो मनुष्य हमेशा से ढूंढ रहा है। और एक इंग्लिश नॉवेलिस्ट, क्रिटिक एंड फिलोसोफर कहते हैं, पूरे मानव समाज के लिए भगवद गीता आध्यात्मिक विकास का एक सबसे व्यवस्थित विवरण। मानव समाज को प्राप्त आज तक के ग्रंथों में भगवद गीता आध्यात्मिक विचारों का सबसे स्पष्ट एवं व्यापक वर्णन है। नोबेल प्राइज विनर नील्स बोर कहते हैं, मैं अपने प्रश्नों का उत्तर जानने के लिए उपनिषदों की शरण में जाता हूँ। सन 1835 में ब्रिटिश सरकार से भारत के दौरे पर आए लॉर्ड मैकॉले ने ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट को एक पत्र लिखा था जिसमें भारत के पतन का उत्तर है। उन्होंने लिखा, मैंने संपूर्ण भारतवर्ष की यात्रा की है, ना ही मुझे कोई भिखारी मिला और ना ही चोर। मैंने इस देश में ऐसी संपन्नता, ऐसी नैतिकता और ऐसा साहस देखा है कि मुझे नहीं लगता कि हम कभी इस देश को जीत पाएंगे, परंतु ऐसा तभी संभव होगा जब हम इस देश के आधार को जड़ से समाप्त कर दें, जो कि इनकी आध्यात्मिक एवं सांस्कृतिक विरासत है। अतः मैं ये प्रस्ताव रखता हूँ कि हम इनकी प्राचीन शिक्षा प्रणाली और संस्कृति को नष्ट कर दें, क्योंकि यदि भारतवासी यह सोचने लग जाए कि जो भी पाश्चात्य से आया है वो श्रेष्ठ है, तो वह अपना स्वाभिमान खो देंगे और वह बन जाएंगे जो हम चाहते हैं, एक गुलाम देश। आज
Okay. So is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
actually, this is the statement of Lord Macaulay, that I have traveled across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is thief. Such wealth I had seen in this country, such high moral values of such caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. So this is the underlying part, the spiritual and cultural heritage of the country. So I just want to discuss something on this, which is related to our education system. Uh, and therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture. And if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. So this was the statement of Lord Macaulay in 1835, almost 200 years, 300 years back. Now, just what is the difference? Like he was talking about the ancient education system. So I just want to extend this. If we see the modern system of education versus Vedic education system, so modern education system is based on it is treated as purchasable commodity. If I am able to educate my kids in international school or ICSE board, then I can afford. Otherwise, one has to go for government school. Whereas in case of Vedic knowledge or Vedic education, it is given free of charge, just as a treated as gift. Then modern education is mainly information based or skill based, whereas goodness without God is honesty amongst this. So that is one concept. Whereas in case of Vedic education, it is value added or say value and character based education. Now, if the modern education is concerned, so it is competitive and selfish goals. So if I want to get my promotion, so I do something so that I can put on my leg on the shoulder of other and I can be on the top. So this is the just a cutthroat competition, and because of cutthroat competition, one just follows shortcut gains. Whereas in Vedic knowledge, they encourage everyone. So encourage of team spirit and mood of the servant of God. So they are this themselves believe that they are the servants of the God. Now this is very important. The modern education system, it is based on pratyaksh praman and anvan praman. If I say to my son, कि this is right or this is wrong, so बोलेगा दिखा के बताओ या उसका प्रमाण बताओ. So this is the concept. Whereas in case of Vedic knowledge, it is just Shabd Praman. Means once it is said in scriptures or said by the saintly person, it is correct. I'll give you some examples of this. Pratyaksh Praman means proof, evidence-based medicines or evidence, and Anuman means estimation or just guess. Then the modern education is superficial. The survey of few hundreds or say hundreds. Whereas Vedic knowledge is based on the deep study of some text. Then modern education system is no respect for teachers. If you all of you are teachers, so you might have observed this in your scenario or in your profession, that once if you are supposed to give marks to the students, then the students will give say you good morning sir, good evening sir. But if you are not teaching to that semester, you'll observe that the same students, they are not responding favorably. And again, if in the third semester, in the next semester, you are their teacher, again they'll say. So this is the scenario what we are observing in modern education. Whereas in Vedic education or in traditional system, it is respect, faith, devotion towards guru or saints and scriptural texts. Then modern education is always changing. Now we have seen that the new education policy is there. Earlier to that, 14, 15 years back, some other policy is there. So continuously this is changing. So it is not concrete, whereas the Vedic system is time tested and no change are required. Now, as I am telling you about Pratyaksh Praman and Sabda Praman. So we'll see what is Pratyaksh Praman and Sabda Praman. So there are to gain or acquire knowledge, there are three concepts. One is Pratyaksh Praman, means just by seeing, believing by seeing. or Anuman Praman means just a guess. And third one is Shabd Praman. So what are these and how we can acquire knowledge from these? Like if you see here, the simple direct perception or what seeing is belief. So if you say one pencil, if you put in a beaker filled with water, so the pencil is straight. But if you see from right, from side, so the pencil will be seen bent because of reflection. So is it correct? So can you say that your pencil is bent or straight? So here our perception is poor. Why? Because we are not having pure senses like eyes or ear or touch. How? I'll just show you again. So here there are four defects like imperfect senses. Then if you see here in imperfect senses like eyes. So our eyes cannot see beyond 100 microns. Because of that, we want to say we use microscopes. If whereas the eagle, who is around say 100 feet, 1000 feet of high and from sky only, you can find out where is the rat or where is the his prey. So that eagle or vulture can have that sense. Ears. Now, if you know that how sensitive is the ear of dog, like his smell also. So dogs are used as sniffer for detection purpose. Touch, like the screen touch of say this snake. So it is very sensitive. So our senses are not that much uh, sensitive. Second is we are illusioned, means we just get confused. How illusion? I'll show you some slides later on. And then we are having the tendency to commit mistakes. So whatsoever precautions you take, all the time one error or the other error may be there, and therefore we take the help of statistics so that our errors can be minimized. Then the basic tendency of cheating. So cheating propensity is also there. So these are the four defects which are commonly available in all in present scenario. Whosoever we are, our senses are not perfect. How? So just see, if our eyes can see only to some range which is we call as electromagnetic waves, only some visible range, which is around say 400 to 500 millimicron. Whereas beyond that, radio waves or X-rays we cannot see. So we cannot say that it is not there. It is there, but our eyes are not able to see it. Similarly, ear. So beyond 20 hertz or 20,000 hertz, 20,000 hertz, we are not able to see, not able to hear. So our ears are not perfect. Now just take, you can perform this example, or you might have seen, if you take first orange. So if you take orange after sugar, so it will look sour. But if the same orange, if you take after lemon, so it will taste sweet. Same taste is there, or skin. So same water, if you touch warm water with a hand, so it will like cool. Or if touched with cold water, then your arms will look warm. Now, can you observe what you are observing here? Are you observing a triangle in the left side, figure 1, or are you observing the three circles which are having one cut? So so others can say that it is triangle, others can say that it is black spots. Similarly, here in the right figure, can you observe something like what you are observing? So if you observe minutely, I am observing one male on the right hand side and female old lady on the left hand side. And another here, if you see, so this person is playing some guitar, and this is one lady having a hat. So the same figure is there, but because of our vision is not clear, we are not able to differentiate between the two. So if you see, okay, if you see here, so are you able to see the movement? So if you just observe continuously, so you can find that you are not you are observing that they are moving. Similarly here, if you see this minutely, so all these three shoulders are of the same height, but they are having different dimensions are observed here. Now just focus on this pinpoint, black point, and after focusing for some time, you'll observe that the circles are moving in opposite directions. So again, we can say that our senses are not perfect. Another example, you see here, you are observing the flowers, and if you see, move your head left side or right side, so you can find that these flowers are somewhat moving. Now just observe this one. So what you are observing? You are observing the yacht or ship, or are you observing the bridge on the sea? So both way you can observe, and only thing is that what is our perception, what we are seeing. So we may come to know that our senses are not perfect, and we are able to we are committing mistakes all the time. We just want to make our own speculations, and like Hubble constant. So Hubble constant, we say that it is Hubble constant, but it has been changed many times. Or earlier in case of pituitary gland or master gland, so again it is disputed thing. Then earlier the scientists say that man came from monkey, but is it correct? How, whether it is, but it is not well documented. So we can say that our tendency is to cheating propensity. One very important scientist, Darwin. Uh, So what we see, so what we Anuman Praman means, it may be if you see any of the thesis, whether M.Pharm thesis or PhD thesis, after conclusion they write like this. It may have been like this, or it may have been like that, and they do not conclude pinpointedly. So, in case of Anuman Praman, it is just based on the theories which are based on observations. Like Darwin has said, the Wallace, like I am a fine believer that without speculation there is no good or original observation. After 5 years of work, I have allowed myself to speculate on the subject. So this, he says that only just on the basis of observation, and we just follow blindly that all Darwin theory are fine, or it is to be implemented in our say traditional knowledge or in knowledge. So just you can observe because of our defects, we just find that everything whatever is given is correct. So these are the shortcomings of Pratyaksh Praman and Anuman Praman, like say seeing in believing, or just by say speculation. So we cannot go get the perfect knowledge by Pratyaksh Praman or Anuman Praman. So what is next? So next one is Shabd Praman, heading from the bona fide authority. So like wise we can go from parampara, and we can get the information. That can be explained by this. Suppose one child is there who want to know who is his father. So scientifically, one can go for the checking of that child's gene, and it may take around 800 years to get the entire genetic fingerprints of all the men who are looking like that, and of them again 200 men will be of the same gene. So this is what inductive knowledge. But what is deductive knowledge? Just ask the mother, who is the father? So she will tell, yes, he is your father. So this way we can get the confirmed knowledge. Whereas in case of Pratyaksh Praman or Anuman Praman, it is not complete, or it is incomplete, or say inferior. Whereas the deductive knowledge or Shabd Praman, because only the mother can say who is the father of the child. So similarly, we call our Vedas or scriptures like Mahabharata and all the traditional scriptures which are described in the literature, we call them as mother, and God is the supreme father. So Vedas can guide us to know who our father is, and if we know our father, then we can overcome these four defects, like imperfect senses, which lead to imperfect senses lead to illusion, which makes mistakes, and because of that we cheat others. So I'll just give you one example here where we have seen these four imperfect senses. Just take the example of the beaker which is having water and or some solvent, and one glass rod or pencil is dipped in that. So if you see the pencil is straight, But in beaker, it is saying you are observing bent. So if you say that it is bent, then your sense are imperfect. If you say it is not bent, then also you are saying wrong, because initially your pencil is straight. Then illusion, because of the refraction you are confused. Then because of confusion we make some mistake, and because of mistake, to overcome those mistakes, we just want to say that it is right, but it may be right, it may not be bent, it may be bent, like that. Those terms we use. So because of that, these observations, we are not happy. uh, so I just want to extend my discussion here, that we have reached so many developments were observed in last, say, 100, 200 years technologically. We have developed very good houses, uh, very big skyscraper buildings, very nice jet planes, very good latest models of communications, latest 3G, 4G, 5G communication systems. But in spite of all these advancement, unfortunately, all human beings are dissatisfied, full of anxiety, stressed, and depressed. Above all, we are unhappy. So this phenomena, all of you might have observed, because of though all the development was there, still we are not happy. Whether you are getting the luxurious house, luxurious car, well air conditioned, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 5 BHK, or bungalow, or even the palace, but even then one is not satisfied. Why? So for that, one should understand what is missing. So all of us, first of all, are thinking of about happiness. So happiness may be of different types, whereby we can just find out how we can define happiness. So one can find happiness in sports, others find happiness in intoxication, just smoking or drinking. Others can be happy just by following the rave parties or attending the rave parties. Others can be having very daredevils, like with bikes or dolls, may be crazy fashions. But all these are the things which are just one want to find happiness. But we should be able to differentiate between the things which are there, which are common between human beings and animals. Like, what are these things? Like eating. So we eat, animals also eat. Sleeping. Animals also sleep, we also sleep. Mating. Or and finally defending. So these are the four things which are common in all human beings, which animals also follow, which we also follow. But are these going to give us happiness? So if eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, these are common in human beings and animals. So are not human beings and like animal, because we are also doing the same thing? No, we are having the extra intelligence, and by which that intelligence we can do some extra work. So what is that extra uh, equity or extra eagerness? What is differentiating us from animals? Otherwise, all human beings and animals are following the same concept. So here it is mentioned in Mahabharata that ahar nidra bhay maithanam cha samanvayam itat pashuvir naranam dharmo hitesho adhito vishesho dharmena hina pashubh samana. Means what? The activity of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are common in all human beings and animals. Whereas human beings are considered superior only when they inquire about God and perform the dharma. And here, dharma is not like Hindu religion, Islam religion, or say Sikhism or Jainism or likewise. Dharma is the way of responsibility or the characteristic. So dharma of obeying his laws or God's laws, loving and serving him. Otherwise, they are considered just like animals. So if we are following dharma, then we are considered as the pious people. Otherwise, we are just like animals. So human beings are having higher intelligence, though they are having the four similarities: eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, as that of animals. But they are having the higher intelligence, and this higher intelligence will give us the concept of, say, to find out what is the cause of suffering, to inquire about the purpose of life, to harmonize our life with God and nature, and to attain eternal happiness. And how this eternal happiness can be achieved is by just understanding who am I. So if we see our system, like all of us are suffering from various problems. Like what are the real problems? So problems are like you can call that you are having suffering from various problems, like problem of pollution, problem of say poverty, uneducation, population. So many problems are there. But what is real problem? A real problem is one which is common to all, which nobody wants it and which nobody can avoid it. So these are the prerequisites of a problem. Means this the problem is common to all. Then nobody can avoid it. Nobody can wants it and nobody can avoid it. So these are the three requisites which are there. Now they are like if you see here, so we want to remain young forever, but is it possible? No. After a period of time, we are going to get old. Then we want to remain healthy, but after some time, when we get old, we get diseases. So there are four problems which are common to all: birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the real problems, which is common to all. Nobody wants it, nobody can avoid it. So if you see here, birth. So taking birth, how you can ask, sir, what is the problem in birth? So if you just imagine the scenario before birth, so the child has to be there in the mother's womb, and in mother's womb, if the mother is taking spicy food, the child will get the some pungency, or his skin may burn because his skin is very soft. Then the same in the same womb, the child is just passing stool or passing urine, and in the same compartment he is there. So just imagine if you are there in a one room for entire period of 9 months. You cannot go out, you cannot have any entertainment, no internet, no net, mobile, nothing. Just imagine the how the child's position will be there in the womb. Similarly, we can assume the scenario in the COVID situation, where we are here facing, we are not able to go out, we are just stick to our places. So we have to follow so many safety precautions. So when we want to go out, so that is a problem. Death. So death is always a painful. So nobody wants death, but everyone, or death is, or it is English saying that as truth as death. So death is about to come. Old age. Old age is the phenomena whereby we are going to get old, and we will be suffered by uh, various diseases and disease. So all these four things which are common. So these are the real problems. And if we are able to solve these problems, then we can understand or then we can achieve the happiness. So apart from this, again, these are not only these three problems, these four problems: birth, death, old age, and disease. Apart from that, another problems are there, like Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmic Klesh, which is caused by mind; Adi Bhautik Klesh, which is caused by other living entities; and Adi Devik Klesh, which are caused by natural calamities. So I'll just explain what is this. Adhyatmic Klesh means mind, like stress, depression. So because of stress, so these are the Adhyatmic clash, like sickness, tired, fear, work, anxiety, expectations. So all these are giving us the stress. So this is Adhyatmic. This is different for different individuals. One can overcome, other can, in the same environment, other can face this. Then if you see in Indian context, so 1 in 5 children have stress related to emotional stress. Then 32% of urban teens have used alcohol, or 25% students, urban teens, smoke. 40% teenagers have admitted that they are suffering from anxiety. Then one hospital says that 20% of the teenage patients with hypertension. Then the basic instincts, the age of first sexual intercourse was dropped from 20 years to, in last 20 years, to 16 from 18. So these are all because of Adhyatmic Klesh. Then Adibhautik. Adibhautik means the miseries which are caused by other living entities, like say terrorists are there, smugglers are there, or say maybe because of the dog, because of the biting of the say mosquitoes or any living entity, other living entity, may be your boss or if your subordinate or your relative, who is going to cause different problems in your day-to-day life. Now, Adi Devik means on which you are not having any control. Like you might have seen the cases of your Bhuj in Gujarat, or means earthquake in Bhuj, or in uh, flood in Bihar. It is the phenomena every year they face flood, or this is the Badrinath landslide in Badrinath. So these are there, which are common, and one cannot avoid this. So if one understands Jan Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukha Doshanam Darshanam, means if one understands the real problems of life as birth, death, old age, and disease, so these are the real problems. So one can solve these problems by understanding the issue. So for that understanding, one should know that first, who am I? So this particular slide says that by the development of scientific technology, one cannot stop the old age, one cannot eradicate the disease. Like we are facing difficulty in fighting against corona or the other thing, or diabetes or cancer. Then it is hardly understanding the life and death. So these are four things which are common: birth, old age, disease, and death. And though we have advanced to a very high level, still we are not happy, because whether the person is rich or poor, in the developed country or say developing country, old or young, they are facing death. So to understand that, first we should know that who are you. So if I ask you who are you, so your first answer will be, sir, my name is Ajay Namdeo. But what else? So one should know, who am I? So am I this nose? Am I this hand? Am I this coat? Am I this body? No. If I'm not this shirt, I'm not this hand, I'm not this neck, or I'm not this leg, then who am I? So first understanding of individual is very important. So it is easy to point out that this is my hand, this is my leg, this is my stomach, this is my other body parts. But who am I? Whose body parts are these? So to understand this, the human body worth just 110 rupees. If chemically, if you analyze, irrespective of the individual, the total amount of the body parts which is there, which can be calculated as calcium, or say iron, phosphorus, water content, or other substances. So if we just calculate the all inorganic parts of our body which are remaining after the incineration or after burning, so they is almost, the cost is 110. So this is the statement given by Dr. Munson from US. So if this is our value of just 110 रुपए, then हम क्यों इतना परेशान हो रहे हैं? So if this is our just value, then what is our real identity? So our real identity is described in scriptures as, we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. So for the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. These are the details which are given in Bhagavad Gita. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. Means the spirit soul is already there. It will remain there, and it's not going to die. It will just transmigrate from one body to another. Like if you see here, so one child is there. So from child to infant to child to young to adult, and then again adult to senior citizen, and then death. So this cycle is going on. So he is unborn, means soul. Soul is unborn, he is eternal, ever existing, primeval, and he is not slain. So a body can slain, but the soul is not going to death. So if we just compare body versus soul, so if body is made up of matter, whereas soul is made up of spirit. Body is having body is not conscious, whereas the soul is conscious. Body changes, soul doesn't change. Body is temporary, soul is eternal. Body is dead, soul is alive. So these body. So if I just discover myself, okay, this Ajay Namdeo is just body. No, it is not like that. Ajay Namdeo is not body. Ajay Namdeo is the soul. And if we are able to understand this concept that we are not this body, we are soul, then we can understand each and individual, because we then treat each individual as a soul. And this is the main teaching of Bhagavad Gita. You are not this material body, but you are the spirit soul. So, like here in one saying is there, like Swamiji, I think our body is just a complex machine that gets worn out and crashes. Why should we bother about some soul powering the body? So it is not the concept like that. So the saint explained, does your car or computer grow? Do you have male car and female car who can produce a new baby car? No, it is not like that. But it is possible with soul. So the soul is the living entity which describes the life. Now, these are the four, these are the eight phases which every living entity, whether it may be human being, bird, animal, trees, they follow birth, they follow growth, they go for maintenance, they produce or reproduce of byproducts. After that, they become old and then death. So similarly, if it is plants, so it will take birth, then plant will grow, it will grow for maturity, then the new plants or seeds will be there, then plants will get old and plants will die. So this complete scenario is going on. Now, if we understand that I am not this body, I am just this body is, I am the Atma and this body is the mirror or just as a mirror, then we will consider each and individual entity. So from here onwards, the concept of what I want to explain here in the presentation is that if we are able to identify each individual as a soul, living entity, like we are the bodies. So whether it is the elephant body, tortoise body, human body, or animal body, so they are not the bunch of chemicals, but they are the living souls. So we are not the dead bodies, but we are the living souls which are there. So if we understand this, then we can understand that, okay, yes, we are having one spiritual father or supreme father. So then we can treat each and individual as a it equally. So a spiritual point of view of looking all the individuals is very important. Now this understanding is very important, whether the one is highly learned or the street person, or whether it's the animal or snake or anything. So if we see all living entities which are part and parcel of the God or the Supreme, then we will generate love to each other. Why we love our brothers and sisters? Because we know that we are having common father or mother. So similarly, if we know that our Supreme Father is same, then or God, then we will have more brotherhood. Now, for understanding that, we have to train our mind. So how we can train our mind? So for that, we have to understand the mechanism of mind. So mind is having the various senses. So like intelligence, mind, and the senses. So this combination is an utmost important for understanding the mind. Like intelligence. So intelligence is used to make decisions, to discriminate, and to determine. Animals are having less intelligence. Therefore, they are not able to discriminate. They are not determined, and their decision making may be poor as compared to human being. Now, human minds, so they are having unlimited desires, flickering nature, always active, unlimited scope, and expansibility. Means always mind. If we observe anything and then we just want to procure that thing, and mind is fed by these 5 senses, like eyes. If I see, if my eyes see that some rasgulla is there, so I'll just start cramming for that. and until and unless I get that rasgulla, or in my back of mind one craving or will be there for that rasgulla. So the eyes fill the mind, and the minds get that desire, and whether to fulfill that desire is the intelligence. So if the intelligence say no, it is not good, then we will not follow that or will not go there. So here, if someone is say just taking smoking cigarette, so senses will observe, the mind will see he may desire or he may not desire on the basis of the culture of the individual. But if one sees that smoking is good, but the intelligence of the individual will say, okay, go for smoking or not go for smoking. So if your background, or if your understanding, or if your say development is that your good human being inside you suggests that it is not good, smoking is not good for you, then you'll follow that, and you'll say mind, no, don't worry about, go for smoking likewise. So to understand this, the God's energy has inferior material energy and superior spiritual energy. Like inferior material energy is with the help of five gross elements like earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which is we call it as Panch Tattva. Then subtle elements like mind, intelligence, and ego. So human body is made up of all these five. Material body means we call that our body is made up of these earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So these are gross material elements, and subtle elements like mind, intelligence, false ego. Beyond this, our body is also having a soul, and whereas the superior spiritual energy, which is the soul, the spiritual body, then it is what Sat Chit Anand. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, and Anand means full of bliss. So if we follow this path, so then our body will be Sat Chit and Anand, which is full of eternal, means everlasting, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. So this happiness one can achieve once one is connected to the spiritual energy. Unfortunately, any educational system, any university worldwide is not teaching the students about this. They are giving very good degrees, BPharm, MPharm, PharmD, PhD, MBA from IIT, IIM, anywhere. All these universities are teaching the individuals or giving the knowledge, skills, everything, performing various modern methods, following new education policy, everything they follow. But they are not describing the what is the purpose of life, who am I, how I am connected to the material body, what is mind, intelligence, and false ego, and how I can get happiness. Because for short gain one can be happy, but for longer one it is very difficult to get happiness. So this is just a representation of the same description here in this chariot. So these five horses like ear, eyes, nose, skin, tongue, and ears. So these are the five senses of five of our senses, which gives the desires for mind. Yeah, I want to taste this, I want to see this, I want to hear this, I want to touch this. So all desires are because of the senses which guides or which creates the desires in the mind. Now minds ask to intelligence. If your intelligence is good, which is supported, and your body, you are the soul. So if the intelligence says, okay, you go for smoking, then the body will go for smoking. So the soul will suffer the causes of smoking. But if the intelligence is nice, then it says no, the smoking is not good for health. Then the intelligence will stop the mind there only. So these senses will dovetail themselves from bad things to good things. And the soul is the say passenger in the on this chariot. So these five senses guides or creates the desires. The mind says to intelligence, sends these desires to intelligence, and the intelligence on the basis of our basic knowledge or the traditional knowledge gives instructions to mind whether to follow or not. And then it will satisfy our soul or it will dissatisfy our soul. Now, if we are connected to God, then what will happen? So, for that, one should know that whether the God exists or not. So, this is very important phenomena, like who created this universe? What is the purpose of this creation? So, if you see the all the planetary systems are working very systematically or in an organized manner. Just ask Natik sir, who is organizing this, who is the coordinator of this ATAL FDP. So many individuals, so many uh, on heads he has to control or he has to guide or he has to operate, like the speakers, the technicians, the other your say members who are dealing with say preparation of certificates, participants, mailing to the participants, all so many things are there. So one man, it is not one man show. So one to organize one small FDP, so many things are there. So that means one controller. So if the entire universe is there, so one controller may be there. So who is there? So that is God. So does God exist? So to understand this, I am just showing few slides. Like we see wonderful things, we see wonderful creations everywhere. So if creations are there, some creator may be there. So we can find different say, and these creations are not coming by chance. So one person is there who has created this. So that we call it as nature or God. So like big banyan tree. So big banyan tree, if you see the seed of the banyan tree, it is very small, just like pinpoint, but that contains all the characteristics of the banyan tree. Now nature. So who is the artist? So if you see this particular drawing, so some artists may be there. It is not drawing. So some artists may be there. Likewise, we see wonderful cars. So someone has manufactured it. If some building is there, so someone has erected it. If it's skyscraper building, so someone has made it. Then if universe was there, so some creator was there. So who was that creator? So to understand that, what the scientists have said, so like Einstein, what Einstein said, that there is a perfect brain behind all the natural physical laws. So he said that one particular brain is there. So it doesn't mention God, but he's indirectly mentioning that some super brain was looking after the entire cosmos. If you think like Lord Kelvin, so what he said, that he said, if you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. Now, if you see micro world and macro world, all of the pharmacy faculty or members, you know the DNA, RNA, and micro world, but you also know the macro world. You know the precise law of mathematicals which governs accurately, whereas you also know the law which are there for the planetary system. So some lawmaker may be there which is controlling or who is controlling the micro world and the macro world. And like here's the God which is unseen. But like if you see this necklace, so if you see the necklace, you will not find what is the connecting thread. But this connecting thread is nothing but the God. And so in this Bhagavad Gita, is one slok is there where Krishna says that, "Oh Arjun, everything rests upon me, as a pearls are the strung of on the necklace." So can we see God with this limited vision, electromagnetic spectrum? No, it is not possible to see God, but we can just understand the government of our country and government of the universal government. Like to run a country, there is a home ministry, so which control law and order. Whereas in universal government, which are where the AIDS or cancer, smoking, or the other, so law of karma is there. Now in any country, the supplying of medicines are for diseases are there. In universal, the Ayurvedic herbs, naturopathy, and go herbs are there. In any other country, the industrial and domestic water needs are there by municipal corporation, whereas oceans, sea and ponds supplies the water. Similarly, if we see any country, so similarly the other part is there for universal. Like for education ministries, education of citizens. In universal government, there are Vedas, Bible, Quran, and other scriptures like say. Uh, so these are the scriptures which gives us the information for living systematically or according to the scriptures. Then to any country, so they give very good award for best citizens. Here, if you follow the God's law, then you may be on the safer side. Now, what this Colonel Bill Britt says. So this is very important for understanding everyone. So in the US, US is the mighty country, but where is our culture going on? Drugs, violence, divorce, sex. That's not the American dream. So he's the one colonel who has said this, and he said that look at India. I admire their culture. They have got much better families values than we do. They have got much better parents than we do. So if you see in the culture, traditional Indian families, you observe in our family also, when we follow our systematic culture, then these are the whether we are in the say nuclear family or mainly joint family. So joint family are the one where one can get the systematic culture. Now you'll be surprised to know that now many foreigners, mainly US and Europeans, are coming to India. They are staying with the joint families where parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters are living together, and they just want to understand the culture, and they are living there as paying guests. Indian culture is going towards living relationship, but the US and Europe they are coming to India to understand our culture, and they are paying as a paying guest, maybe 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees per month to live in that particular family. So, what youngsters in our country or everywhere are doing, they are just influenced by US. So, they are being influenced by wrong culture, maybe smoking alcohol or womanization. So, if I were the same Colonel is saying, if I were the Prime Minister of India for 15 minutes, I'll shoot all the Western channels out of that beautiful country. So who is wise and who is foolish? So the wise is one who follows God, who believes in God, who lives life according to the laws of God, who remembers the temporary nature of the world, and who follows the regulated life principles uh, to ultimately attain the bliss of God. Whereas foolish is one who doesn't have faith, who just eat, drink, and be merry, who forgets the temporary nature of the world, and who is envious of others. So if God is there, then why there are so many religions? So this is one. I'll just skip this part. Like God has given the religious are presented according to the ability of audience to digest the truth. So I just skip this particular part. Like for child, so for this person, the same equation is given, so he don't know what is there. After some understanding, he will get the same answer like -3. And here, the same question is asked for other person. So according to their level of understanding, same situation they can respond differently. Like in Islam, they said that they'll not all animals except pig and dog can be eaten after sacrifice. In Roman Christianity, they say that Roman Catholic can take meat every day except Friday, whereas in Sanatan Dharma, meat eating is the pillar of sinful life, and true spiritual life is cannot be begin until one gets the mercy of Lord from all creatures. So if we see the same all religions, the principles are same. God is one, love the God. So this is the description in all. Then obey God's laws, service to God, return to the kingdom of God, sin no more. Then glory of holy names. So every scripture says that one should Nam Sankaran or everyone should take the names of the God or spiritual. Then sacrifice and renunciation, tapasya is there. Then approaching through spiritual master. So we cannot remain atheist or we are just the grab of secularism. We have to follow these principles, and these are just the development of various dharmas. So Sanatana Dharma is somewhere 5,000, more than 5,000 years old. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjun in almost 5,000 years back. Buddhism is 25,000 years, 2,500, not 2,500 years. Christianity 2,000 years. Islam came in after say 1,300 years. Then every religion says that God is great, love God, God is almighty. But how to pray God? So some pray God because of fear. This is very important slide. Every one of us should understand this particular slide. This is my humble request to everyone. By praying, if we will not follow, we will be punished. So this is one way of understanding. Another way of understanding is if I desire something, is God give me car, God give me this, that, then I'll follow you. So desire is there. Another is duty. God has given me so many things, so it is my duty that I should repay or it is on the basis of gratitude. And last one is love, just as that of mother. So mother love is irrespective of fear, irrespective of desire, irrespective of duty. It is just pure love. So one should get the ultimate pure love towards God. So this is the ladder. So one should understand and teach the love towards God. So one may uh, treat God because of fear or pray God because of fear, but maybe because of desire, maybe because of duty. But the ultimate, or these are the ladder. One may go from fear to desire to duty and then finally to love. Now, what are the hurdles in this loving God? So it is mentioned that our body is made up of three: uh, passion, ignorance, and goodness. Means sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic. And if we train our system or our mind, like these are the senses, it is again the representation what I have represented in the earlier one. Like if we hear good thing, if we see beautiful things, if we smell good thing, if you taste nice things, and if you touch good thing, then your mind will store those things, and then it will give the final decision maker the intelligence. But and that will create the habit. So how habits are created? So they are the regular tendency, then practice that is hard to give up, then mental constitution of that. So if we decide that whether good habits are there or bad habits are there. So if we follow good things, mind will store good things, and then the intelligence will go do the good. And if it is other way around, then we'll get the good. So it is like good in, good out. If you take every good thing in your accept good things, you'll only the good will come out from your body. So for that beginning, initially, if you control your senses, like in the many slides in the chariot, if you control your senses, like if you read good books, if you watch good movies, not the crime or the say pornography or other thing, then you will get the positive impact. If you hear the sound music or say, then you will get positive waves. If you have very good association, find friends, because it is the saying in English that you just tell me who your friends are, and then I'll tell you who you are. So your friends decide your fate. So good in, good out. This is the principle applicable everywhere. So how to control mind? So there not just few slides are there. Mind can be controlled by physical methods, mental methods, and spiritual methods. So for physical methods like yogasana and exercises, pranayam, breathing exercises, kriya, and like panchkarm, sitting postures like asan, diet, celibacy means tapasya or brahmacharya, fasting. Celibacy means initially one should be treated that uh, one should remain celibate or brahmacharya till the age of 25 before marriage. Then fasting. In fact, last few years back, there was a Nobel Prize on intermittent fasting. So fasting is a very important phenomenon, which is already described in our uh, traditional knowledge, but we are not following. Tataka, silence and environmental conditions. And then mental methods like concentration, detachment, and forgetfulness, uh, plant thinking, positive thinking, and change of mental attitudes and control over impulses or desires. Then spiritual methods like one can perform mantra. Man means man, mind, and tra means trana, which tra उसे तरता है. So that is given in the Bhakti Yoga of Bhagavad Gita, where they said that if we perform mantra meditation, then we can go get the positive benefits and our mind will be controlled. This is very important. Yat yat acharti sheshtasa tat tat itar evarto jana sa yat pramesha kurte lokas tat anuvartate means what? Whatever action great performers, common men follow, whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world will pursue. So to the teachers, because all the participants are teachers, so I just want to say this is the saying in Gita. If we follow the instructions from Gita, like whatever actions a great men perform. So if you are teacher and if you are smoking or drinking, then how can you say to your children or to the students ki one should not go smoke or one should not drink or one should not cheat? So this is what if one follows the standards, because what we do, people just follow say Dhoni or Tendulkar or Dravid or any hero or heroine. Why? Because they just make them as role model. So yat acharati shrestha, whatever actions great men performs, the common men follow. So whatever actions the teachers will follow, the students will teachers will perform, the students will follow. And whatever stands he sets, exemplary, all the world will follow. So education, it is painful, continual, and difficult work to understand, to be done with kindness, by watching, by warning, and by praise. But overall, by example. So if you say set an example, then one can become a very good teacher for the society, because in your in the title of the theme, it is related to the society as well. Then Vedic wisdom come from disciple succession, from our teacher to guru to other guru to other guru. So by this way we can get connected. Then for spiritual understanding, one should follow no meat eating because it kills mercy, no intoxication because it kills austerity, no gambling because it kills truthfulness, and no illicit sex because it kills the cleanliness. And these are the do's. If we perform these do's, like association with the devotees or the good minded people, then we can read, we can associate with good habits. Books, if you go for literature or scriptures, then you'll read the positive things. Chanting, every time, every day, everyone should chant the God's name, whether it is the God may be anyone of any religion, but the mantra meditation should be there. Then diet, whatever you are going to eat, one should offer the food first to the God, and then one should take. So it will, this bhoga will become prasad, and one should get engaged in the positive activity or seva. Now the entire discussion, whatever I have discussed, so one should not constrained or confined this particular discussion in spirituality. Spirituality is vast sea, whereas religion is just a small pot in the big sea. So one may say that he is belong to one particular religion or the sect or sectarian group, but if we talk about spirituality, so spirituality is directly connected by one individual to the Supreme God. Now, we have discussed this so far. So these are the scriptures which are already there mentioned, like Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, Atharved. So these are the traditional knowledge by which we can communicate our communicate. And this is the modern concept. Adopt traditional knowledge, apply modern tools with modern technology, and achieve the purpose of our life. That is, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadranu Pashyanti, Ma Kaschit Dukh Bhavavet. So may all be happy, may all be healthy, may all enjoy prosperity, may none will suffer. So just to end this, I just want to give you a small audio, which I want to share, because this is very important audio.
It happened to me on June.
Sir, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
January 1st, 2009. I was in Baroda. This incident has really touched me. I hope it touches you. On New Year's Day, I was there, and there's a great cardiac surgeon in Baroda called as Shailesh Mehta. He's a very famous heart specialist. You cannot get an appointment with him for at least a month before. You have to approach him 1 month before to get an appointment. He has got doctors in Ahmedabad, Baroda, and Rajkot. Hundreds of doctors are there. The junior doctors examine, keep a report, and only if Dr. Mehta has to see, he will see. Otherwise, there's no need. He is a very personal friend of mine. When I was in Baroda on 1st January, evening we were sitting in the corridors of the hotel, waiting for the dinner. And he's about 69-year-old man, sitting before me and narrating an incident. He said, Doctor, recently an incident happened. It has changed me. Believe me, he's not an emotional man. He cuts at least 10 hearts every day, physically. He was narrating the incident. He said on 27th of December, before that, 21st of December, a couple walked into his office with a small child of 6-year-old, a girl, and the file was given to doctor. Junior doctors had made a report, and the child's heart has a problem. Being a senior seasoned doctor, the moment he looked at the file, he could make out case is bad. Total clogging, nothing can be done about it. He explained it to the parents and said, Sir, I'm very sorry, situation is quite bad. There are only two options now. One is make the child undergo operation immediately. Immediately is already quite late. But I should remind you, to warn you, that the success rate is only 30%. That means even if I operate the child may die on the operation table, 70%. 30% she may succeed. But if you don't make her undergo operation, she will not survive beyond 3 months. It's come to that stage. What will you do? What can the parents do? They cried their heart out. They said, Sir, we'll take the chance. We pray God that the 30% will help us, bless us, and our child will survive. Please do the operation immediately. The child was admitted to the hospital. Date was fixed. 6 days before the operation, child was admitted to a ward for preparations and early tests and all that. Mother stayed with the child. This is an important incident for me. The mother stayed with the child, accompany the child, and every day evening, mother would have prayers and make the child say prayers. She would put vibhuti on the child's forehead and say, pray God, God will help you, God will bless you. The child believed it. And now the operation day came, please visualize it. Sterilized operation theater and all the doctors were there. Dr. Shailesh Mehta entered at the end, wearing this green sterilized coat and cap and mask and gloves. He came inside, everything was ready. He saw the 6-year-old on the operation table. Somewhere it pinched him. We don't know. The child is alive now, but by the end of the operation, child may not survive. Success rate is very small. He just started, just to encourage the child, patted on the back and said, don't worry child, you'll be all right. The child looked up and said, I'm not worried doctor, but I have a question to ask. Question? What question do you have? The child said, Doctor, everybody is telling me that I have to undergo open heart surgery, open heart surgery. Does it mean that you open my heart completely? The doctor did not know how to respond. He just said, don't worry child, you will never see the pain. You will not know the pain. I'll give medicine for it. Don't worry. So I'm not worried, doctor, again.
Share the screen, please.
The question.
Share the screen, please.
My heart completely, because my mother keeps telling me every day that God resides in the heart. God resides in the heart. When you open my heart, kindly see whether there is God inside. If he is there watching, and when I'm alright, tell me how he looks like. This man was totally baffled, he did not know how to respond. Said, okay. The operation started. 45 minutes into operation, not even a drop of blood was coming into the heart. The heart lung machine was on, and slowly the pulse rate started coming down, the BP came down, and doctor said it is the end of it. Child cannot survive. He just cannot survive. And told the junior doctor, come on, switch it up, and that's over, close it. Child would not survive. Sorry, we could not save the child. As he was seeing, suddenly child's words came into his mind, started hitting him. The child had asked, when you open the heart, please see whether God is there. Dr. Mehta, as he was sharing this with me, I get emotional when I start sharing that. Sitting in front of me, he was crying like a child. He was saying, I've done so many operations for the last 40 years or 45 years. My hands were soaked in blood. Suddenly, child's words came to my mind. I just folded my hand there and said, God, all my knowledge, all my skills as a doctor has come to a naught now. I cannot save this child. And child and her mother, everybody believes that you are in the heart. If you are there, only you save the child. It is beyond me now. He became so emotional, he was crying. He told his nurse next, come on, take out my spectacle, I can't see anything. Nurse pulled out his spectacle, he wiped his tears. At that time, the doctor next to him elbowed him and said, doctor, blood is coming into the heart now. Dr. Mehta told me, I don't believe in miracles. Some physical phenomena must have happened. Immediately, I put my glass and said, come on, put the machine on. Don't stop it, push it on. And put the heart machine on. And then we started operating. For next 4.5 hours, operation was done. Operation was successful. And then he told me, the child's heart is absolutely clean now, cleaned all the arteries. Child will survive at least 60 years now, no problem. I was feeling so happy. And he told me, but still I have one worry now. When the child is alright, when I go to see her, she would ask me a question. Did you see God? How is he? What will I tell her? I told him, please tell the child, don't make an effort to see God. God is not seen, but God is experienced. We all experience God, we may not see God. Tell the child experience God. This incident has changed Dr. Mehta. He has put a photograph of God in the operation theatre. Earlier, he was so confident of his skills and knowledge. Now, before every operation, he goes and stands before the photograph and says, I am a small man. Whatever knowledge and skills I have tried, but I need your blessings. At the age of 69, Dr. Mehta said, I became cultured now. And this child made me cultured. How did this child get this idea of thinking God resides in the heart? Because the mother said so. Why I'm saying is parents and teachers are such a tremendous responsibility, not just simply saying children are going away from culture. You can't stand like an umpire and declare verdict, say boy is out. No. You should see that it does not get out. As teachers and parents, it is our job to see that culture is followed in our country, in our actions.
Okay. So these are the last saying by this audio, where he has given the emphasis on knowledge and skills can be there, but the other thing which is culture. So culture can be developed from family, from teachers, from association, from the environment. And if we provide the positive environment, positive culture to the students, to the kids in the family, we'll develop a very good peaceful society. So with this, I just end up my presentation. Natik sir.
Yes, sir. Now the session is open for the question and answering. If you have any doubt, then you can ask to the sir. Those participants who want to share their view and anything else, then they can turn on their video.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, it was definitely a illuminating talk and comprehensive talk. And for the different aspects of the life in terms of nature, God, natural and virtual physical entity that ultimately results in the behavioral response of an individual after interaction with the environment in the scientific term. It was very nice lecture. Sir, when you are discussing about God, if I'm right, then God may not be seen by any individual. Means we are not able to see the God. It means it is an virtual entity. It is not a physical entity. Totally depends on the mind, souls, and thinking, knowledge, wisdom, etc. But in our Veda, there is a phrase, "Har bala devi ki Purima bachcha bachcha Ram hai." If I'm right, then what's your view, sir, regarding on this phrase?
Yeah, sir, your saying is perfect. What I can add to this is that if we consider each individual as a soul, and soul is the part and parcel of the super soul, then we will pray that we know that every body is having one Paramatma. So Paramatma तो हर एक living entity के साथ में है. So वही same Paramatma is there in every living entity. So if we are able to understand that, then we'll respect each other and then we can get the positive waves. Yeah. जैसे आप बोले ना बच्चा बच्चे राम की हर प्राणी नॉट ओनली ह्यूमन बींग्स चींटी से लेके हाथी तक और पेड़ से लेके हर कीड़े हर एक में परमात्मा है कुछ सूक्ष्म
जी जी सर.
उसमें है so they are there because of that soul is there and because of that life is there otherwise life is dead because if, we can compare dead body and life only on the basis of soul. Chemically, materially, dead body is having all the same chemical constituents which are there except soul. So you just extract the soul from the body, you will get the dead body. So that soul is connected to super soul.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks to all the participants. At the starting, I have asked the one poll, who is the today's first session speaker. So name of the speaker is Dr. Ajay Namdeo sir. 35 participants given the right answer and the one participant has given the wrong answer. Sir is very much connected with the spirituality and sir has imparted the all the methods traditional to the modern era and with the lively and heart touching example the girl met with the accident and nobody can help her and this is the nowadays human value sir and it is essential to connect with the spirituality so we can add the spirituality in our syllabus also and we have lots of session attended in your FDP also sir with the modern era to the traditional era as well as you have given the brief about the Anuman Praman, Pratyaks Praman, Sabda Praman, and all the things you have covered, which is affect today's generation, sir. So, sir, it is very much informative session, and we would like to hear you again in our next FDP also. So, sir, we would like to present the certificate of the appreciation. Kindly accept it, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Once again, we are heartily thankful from our entire team, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, and all the best.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now the next session start within a 5 minute. So be here. Our next speaker is Dr. Nihal Shah, Associate Dean, Gujarat Technological University, also the Principal and Professor of Indubai Patel College of Pharmacy and Research Center.